Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you for joining me. I am Chioma Christian. I talk about lifestyle, social, relationship, how to make friends, and also maintain friendship with people. I also talk about faith. For my returning subscribers, thank you for joining me. If today is the first time here, you are welcome. Today I'll be talking about how to build your confidence as a guy, and I'll be discussing this topic with an amazing friend of mine, Mr. Oscar Martin. Thank you so much for joining me. You look good.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chioma. You look good.
Thank you. So, Mr. Oscar, a lot of guys feel when you have a lot of money, when you are running business, you have funds. It's one of the ways to build your confidence. Why some feel if you look good, if you dress well, you're also confident in yourself. So I want you to talk to us about how to be confident as a guy. What does it mean to be confident rather as a guy?
Okay, let me first draw the line here. A person might appear to be confident because they dress good and they appear confident. It doesn't mean that they are, right? Especially when that sense of confidence is external and it's an ambition for them to try and create an impression. But you see, confidence is a trait that allows a person to feel a sense of security and approach situations and challenges with a sense of self-assurance, knowing that they are going into this problem, they will deal with this problem, they'll solve it and they'll get results. Alright, so but in today's world, we have a lot of people who feel that when they make money, then they have a name for themselves and they'll be heard, they'll be listened to. But it's wrong because they're trying to put the cart before the horse, while it should be the horse before the cart. So putting the horse before the cart means developing a person's self. A self-confident person or a confident person is actually a developed person.
Wow.
A person who has confidence in the work that they've put in or the work that has been put on them.
Wow.
All right, yeah. So most confident people make the decision to grow. Some put themselves under mentors who raise them and they grow. I don't want to talk about mentorship and all of that right now, but if you feel like you struggle with discipline to develop yourself, then you're going to need a mentor, because you don't want at the end of your life to still be bold and timid, and your children, if you have children, are the ones who are nudging you to take action. So like I was saying, right, a confident person will approach any challenge, any situation with a sense of self-assurance. On the other side, there is arrogance, and that's where you hear things like overconfidence. I heard things growing up, I would hear things like overconfidence, where someone attempts something and it flops because he was not prepared. So preparation prevents poor performance. I'm sure you've heard that before. So a confident person prepares themselves every day for tasks that they may not even know are ahead of them. But this preparation builds into their character overall, generally. So when you see the person come up, he's not scared. There's no sense of fear. It's a healthy sense of belief in their ability, right?
Okay, so sorry sir for cutting short. So you mean a confident guy or a confident person, it's not inborn. You could actually develop being confident in yourself, right?
Well, there is no study that has proven that confidence is inborn or not, because there is no genetic elements to pinpoint confidence. There is no chemical substance for confidence. Right? There is no part of a person's gene where confidence is embedded. So maybe as a result of a person's genetic configuration, your biology, you have little or no fear. Maybe as a result of a person's nurture, right? They are able to approach challenges without doubt. So confidence is not inborn, and for all I know, like I mentioned, it's a trait, which means it can be developed by anyone who is willing. Yeah.
Okay. So now the next question I'm going to ask you is the misconception about confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think there's a thin line between being confident as a guy and then being arrogant as a guy. So could you please explain to us?
Okay. I've explained what confidence is, and for want of time, I will not say that again. But let me explain what arrogance is. Arrogance is an overinflated sense of self-importance. So you feel that you're important, right? And this sense of self-importance is overinflated. Everybody is important, but when you overinflate your own sense of self-importance, that's when you see people who flop. That's when you see, a couple of days ago, I was having a Bible conversation with someone, and he kept on speaking. I hadn't spoken, and everything he was saying was wrong. He was talking about Martin Luther and Paul. Excuse me, Martin Luther and Paul were not in the same timeline, right? The Apostle Paul. And I had to speak, and I had to correct a lot of people. Now, his ideas. The reason I corrected it was not for him per se, but for the persons that were listening to him. This guy had an overinflated a sense of self-importance. So he believed everyone there saw him as an authority, and therefore, as he spoke, they should listen. But it was clear that the guy hadn't done his homework. He doesn't read the Bible. He doesn't study. So he cannot come and tell people things. So an arrogant person approaches things expecting people to acknowledge them as important and able to solve a problem, right? And he believes that he can believe his way into solving a problem. Okay. That's how arrogance works. Okay. But self-confidence is a knowing, I've done this before, I can do this.
Wow, that's really amazing. So my next question will be, what are the benefits? Because someone might be watching this video and be like, okay, you're talking to us about, you've spoken to us about what does it mean to be confident in yourself. So what are the benefits? What am I going to derive if I'm being confident in myself? If I build my self-confidence as a guy, what are the benefits now?
Okay, some of the benefits of being confident is, like, one of the things I've always associated confidence with is the willingness, right? The doubtlessness to tackle challenges, because every day you wake up to one challenge or another, right? If you are not confident in yourself, you will cower, you will run, you will look for help, you will be desperate, you become ambitious in trying to solve the problem. But a confident person is not like that. One of the confidence is assertiveness, and assertiveness is being able to say something as it is without sentiments per se, right? Another is self-assurance. Hey, listen, I'm a developer, right? If you bring a code problem to me and I open it, if I look at the behavior of your code, I know that I can solve this problem. I'm not guessing. There's an assurance that I have inside. So how this translates to everyday life is, for instance, in business, a confident person can jump on any opportunity without doubt, without fear. He knows that even if he has not done it before, he has practiced certain principles for business success that will still prevail or produce results on this. If he cannot do it, he knows how to put a team together to get the results he's looking for. And in Christian life, a confident person knows how to actually walk with God, because he knows how to focus on the things that concerns God. Rather than focusing on his faults, he can focus on the grace of God to help him beyond those faults.
So
in relationship,
a scriptural backing
for
being confident as like a relationship with God.
Let's just stop. Let's give when Paul, for instance, Paul said, I do not boast in myself, right? But my boast is in Christ. That's one. Paul knew that regardless of any circumstance he faced, there's a confidence he had that Jesus will turn up for him.
Wow.
Right? That's one way as Christians. That's how I approach any. There are countless scriptures. There are multiple scriptures, but of course there's a shortage of time here. We would have gone into that. In relationships, a confident person. One thing about confidence is it overflows. It's not just a belief in yourself; it's a belief in others. So you extend the belief in yourself to others, right? And you can count on them to turn up.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. Okay, so the last question is, what are the practical ways to develop your confidence as a guy? Give us practical ways. Does your physical look also help in developing your confidence as a guy?
In interpretation, it might be helpful. Okay. And the interpretation is for others. But you know that whatever I'm putting on does not influence how I will sound or how I'll speak anyway.
True.
Yeah, so, but you might not have trust to listen to me if I'm dressed shabbishly, right? But if I'm dressed sharply, if I'm dressed neatly, you might want to give me an ear. You might want to give me a chance. So, in building confidence or in demonstrating confidence, you have to look at from your perspective and the perspective of others. right? So one of the steps that I would advise anyone to take is, because confidence comes from a knowledge of one's ability to solve problems. If you have no record of solving problems or achieving goals, that's where to start from. And I think you should start with small goals, because it's easy to succeed at small goals. For instance, you say, I'm going to stack all of the chairs in church. That's a small goal. It's smaller than I'm going to replace all the chairs in church. That's big, right? And you may not achieve that in a year. But if you begin by stacking the chairs, hey, I said I was going to do this and I did it. You've set a stone in motion that will give your brain that signal every time that you can set a goal and achieve it. Confidence starts there. Another thing is self-care. You really have to improve yourself. You really have to improve yourself. You have to study, you have to connect with people, you have to practice the things that you study. Because you see, like I said, a confident person has a history of success. And you cannot have a history of success until you apply the knowledge that you have. And you cannot apply knowledge until you develop yourself. So you develop yourself, you study. You don't accumulate all of the knowledge, because then you can have what we call an information overload. But every time that you have knowledge, you find a way to apply. You find a way to apply. Then of course the third thing is to connect with people. See, the world is a social entity or environment. You cannot succeed without people. Even Jesus needed people, right? Even God needed and still needs people till date. Yes. So one of this is the third step, right? Is to connect with people. Find ways to connect with people. Help people. Share the things that you know with people. And see, every time you learn something and you find people to share it with, you affirm or confirm from the feedback you get from them whether what you're saying is valid or not. So what that helps you do is, because it's another landmark for success, that people have affirmed what you know. They've given you feedback. They've said what you know is valid. So what does it do to you? It drives you to learn more. It drives you to learn more. And as you learn more, you find opportunities to apply the knowledge you've acquired to solve problems. And as you do this, gradually, you build confidence. Doubts, the walls of doubt start to fall before you, because you know you've done this before. You've done something similar. You've done something bigger. You've done something more difficult. And that's how you build self-confidence.
Okay, a question just came up as we're talking. Are there practical? Can we relate our relationship with God as helping? Can it also help in building our confidence?
Yes, plenty, yes.
And I want us to focus on the guy aspect.
Guys, of course, this is more about guys. And I'm sorry if I'm not being specific, but I'm seeing this from a guy point of view. One of the examples I like to cite.
Sorry, sir. Like, did you ever, like, growing up, or no? Do you ever had this? Which one am I going to list
Doubt, insecurity.
Yeah. I wanted to. I wanted to make it. I want us to be very, very. I want you to share your story and how you were able to overcome.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So you see, first I would have loved to point out Moses and Peter. These are examples of people that God worked on.
Yeah.
But then me, growing up, I was stammerer. I would study a lot. I was studious, but I was a stammerer, and it affected my confidence coming before people to share my ideas and share my experience. So I talked less, and people felt that I was a loner. No, it was my lack of confidence. I had doubt. I failed a lot. I had insecurities. What would people say? Of course, at the height of it, insecurities. What would they say? What would people say? So I had that. People would laugh at me if I tried to talk and I stamped my foot because I was stammering. They would laugh at me, and I didn't have enough character in me to still stand. Because one thing is, confidence lets you stand your ground. It lets you stand your ground. Confidence makes you command attention, because people will always try to push you, but when you don't ball, they'll wonder why. They'll pay attention. So growing up for me, of course, I didn't grow up in an environment where there was affluence. You know, when people are rich, there's a high tendency for them to be confident.
Yes.
Why? Because there is something they call power. They can fall back on. Money is power. I didn't have that. Okay. So, and I didn't have special education, so to say. I had a normal government school education. The teacher shows up in class, that's your business if he doesn't. So there was nothing special about me. And I paid attention to those things. And I can say that my life started to change when I encountered God, when I encountered Jesus. Because I began to see things like God has not given me a spirit of fear or timidity, but a sound mind. And I'll say, yes, I have a sound mind. Now see, when I was in secondary school, I was a total flop at mathematics. But the sense of confidence and sound mind in me made me myself go to buy a textbook, and I began to study math. And today, most people who know me call me a math guru. Why? I will not call myself that per se, because there are professors who I look up to. But what I'm trying to say is that I've improved as a person.
Yeah.
And today people look at me as confident. Some look at me as arrogant because I intimidate them. I intimidate their smallness. But it wasn't always like that for me. And when I look at Peter in the Bible, Peter, an apostle of Christ, his name was referred to as a small stone. So a small stone cannot move anything. It cannot carry any load. But after Jesus worked on him, it only took 3 years. You see, 3 years. And after 3 years and the infilling of the Holy Ghost, the guy became a force to be reckoned with. Peter that denied Jesus before a little girl. The Bible says in one day he led a team of 120 persons and 3,000 souls were saved. The same Peter. Right? But what happened? He did not change his skin, he didn't change his brain cells, he didn't change anything. What changed was his perspective, his belief. His confidence no longer came from his inabilities, but from the ability of Christ and God.
So, what advice would you give to people that are actually working on their confidence? Like, is it a gradual? Because sometimes I think it could be overwhelming. Or would you say, okay, I've got to that point where I have confidence in myself, or is it a gradual process? You know?
Okay, yeah, confidence is a gradual process.
Yeah.
I don't like to say gradual process because speed differs for everybody. But it's a process. It's not going to happen in an instant. It's not going to happen overnight. It may happen in a year, it may happen in 10 years. But one thing is certain. At every point when you look back, you will see that you've come a long way from where you used to be. You may not see the results instantly. People may see it. You may not see it because your standard in yourself may be too high. But keep doing what you're doing. Keep working on yourself. Keep studying. Keep taking courses. Keep finding mentors. And of course, be loyal to them. Keep carrying out instructions given to you by your leaders and your mentors. Keep improving yourself. And when you learn things, please, for all that it matters, try to shift your perspective. You don't learn a new thing and keep your old mindset. That's a waste of time. Whenever you learn something, it's supposed to step up your mindset. It's supposed to initiate a shift in you. If you learn something new and there's no shift in your mindset, then you've learned nothing. So be like a cup that is always empty and willing and ready to be filled. That's how you go. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much, sir, for this wisdom. Thank you so much. And I'm sure, guys, you learned one or two things from this video. I would like to hear your questions. You could drop a question in the comment section. And then if you also want to share your opinion on anything, just drop it in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe. Wow, this is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone to comment, to like, and also to subscribe to this video. Thank you guys for joining me.